I'm doing this video at dawn on the anniversary of my mother's birthday, in the room with the candle for her. And it's all about Kaddish. Kaddish is such a pregnant word, full of everything. Kaddish is said in the daily prayers, different forms of Kaddish. It's said in the daily prayers between the levels of the prayers. In other words, after the Shema and before you do the 18 blessings, you say a Kaddish. The Shema is in the Bria world, and the 18 blessings are in the Etziliot world. So why would you say a Kaddish between the two? And anytime there's a transformation, there's a death. This death occurs of that previous level, and you enter a new level. And that's the Kaddish. And the beautiful thing about the Kaddish is that death is never mentioned in the Kaddish. Even in the mourner's Kaddish, death is never mentioned. It talks about the greatness of the name. It's the true die before you die. Die so you can be transformed. That's what the whole idea of Kaddish is about. And in this level, let's do Kaddish as it exists in Gematria. Comes out to be 414. 414 is that fabulous word vahavta, and thou shalt love. It comes as the first paragraph in the Shema. And 414 in itself is 2 times 207, which is Or Ein Sof. Or is 207, Ein Sof is 207. So it's a light from Ein Sof. And 414 also, it's 2 times Raz, Zeh and Raz. And, well, the whole thing about 414 is it's Vahavta, it's love. And another 414 comes in Etzem. Remember, I'm trying to make some connection here between Atzmutz and the which is the tree of death, and Kaddish. And I think it is the 6th level above the 5th. And that's the Atzmutz level. And the root of Atzmutz is Etzem, because Etzem to me is the Lutz bone. In the bones, in the human being. And that's why we have to go into the grave, because the Lutz bone has to be in that grave and not disintegrated by a fire of cremation. Etzem in Gematria is 130, 204, and 80. That's 414. That's the same as Kaddish. That's the same as Vahavta. So the essence, the bone, the self, is this level of transformation of death of one level to the next level. And when you go to the next level, you must die to the previous level. And this occurs in all the times we say Kaddish, especially in the mourner's Kaddish, and there's more gematria. The gematria of Kaddish is Kuf 186, Dalet 434. That's 620 right there, which is Keta. And then Yud is 20, and Shin is 360. That's another 380. It comes out to be 1,000. So miraculously, Kaddish is 1,000. Okay? Which could very well be the Aleph that's held in front of the eyes of saying the Shema. Because in the Shema, you know, that's what's on the lips of people when they die or are martyrs. That the lips of people, the Shema, and the Shema in this sense is the Kaddish. Because you're losing your soul. It's the ultimate transformation. Now, miraculously, this word Kaddish, which is 414, and its full spelling 1,000, that gives it a din. Those are the din letters of Kaddish. The full spelling after the first letters of 586, which is the magic number in Judaism for me. It's Yerushalayim. It's Yesod fully spelt out. It's Shofar. And other. It's HaKotel. It's an amazing set of numbers. So it's Vahavta. It's 414, and 586 is Shofar, which will be blown, by the way, at the resurrection of the dead. I saved doing this Kaddish thing from yesterday for today because it's my mother's birthday. Kaddish is how you jump level to level in prayers. It is a death to the previous level. Something I want to say that came to me this morning. That Kaddish is made up of two words, half and half. The Kuf and the Dalet are equal to each other in Atbash. In other words, in Atbash, a Kuf becomes a Dalet, and a Dalet becomes a Kuf. And then in the second half of the word, the Yud and the Shin are parallel letters in Albam. The Yud becomes a Shin in Albam, and the Shin becomes a Yud. So here in these four letters, we have parallels in the Atbash and the Albam. And the Atbash is symbolic of Bina, you know. These are the two transformations. The Atbash is in Bina and the Albam is in Hokmah. And the Atbash and Bina would be, say, for mother. And the Atbash for Hokmah would be for father. And the Kuf Dalet in full is 620, that's Keta. And the Yud Shin brings it up to 1,000, a total of 1,000, which to me is the Atzmutz level structurally within Keta. And it's father and mother. Or in this case, it starts off as mother and father. And that's the ultimate Kaddish is said for mother and father. To me, yesterday in the park, as I was running, I saw a woman hugging a tree. This is to me the Atzmutz level, to get the vibration from a tree. Because remember, it's Atz, Eitz, a tree, and Mavet, death. The tree of death is the tree of life. Because one is hugging this tree and transforming, you see. Death is only transformation, you see, from one level to another, even in physical death. It's transformation. So in these phrases like die before you die, what they're asking you to do is transform. And that's the opportunity you're given every day, like this today. It's a transformational day, which is what the Kaddish is all about. It's an elevation, and the elevation is done not only for the dead person, but for yourself, who's alive and doing it. It transforms the dead person level to level, and it gives you the opportunity to be the one who transforms that person. As you know, I feel a mitzvah is not just done on the burial of the road. You see? So the mitzvah is really done by the Nazir, who, finds that mitzvah on the road. The mitzvah is the Atzmutz level of say a Kaddish for a year for somebody who's found on the road. Wow. I just got a symbol that Mom is here. Whoa. And that's what the Nazir does. Nazir takes care of the dead. I'll write in my book what that symbol was. A small cockroach appeared on my book. And I've said this before, I feel that Mom was a cockroach. It's still on the book. For those turned off by that, that's how deep this is. That there's no distinction between the Ein Sof and the Sitra Akra at the Atzmutz level. The Ein Sof is all pure light. And the Sitra Akra is the level of physicality and the other side, cockroach, death. And at the Atzmutz level, there's a level that they feel is before the emanation of Ein Sof. Ein Sof is light, but there's a level before emanation, before this this duality of Ein Sof and Sitra Akra. And this Ein Sof, you see, is expressed in Hebrew. And Sitra Akra is expressed in Aramaic. And these two things, you see, relate to like heaven and earth, holy and profane. And there's a level before this emanation, because Ein Sof has always been like light and holy, and then they have darkness, and that's the profane, and that's the physical. But there's a level above this, and that's Atzmut, and that is the tree of death. It's a tree of death. The death of one level to another. And up there, that's a unity. It's not a duality. Even the Ein Sof, the duality of expression. But at Atzmutz, it's before the expression. It's the true essence of Hashem before he expresses himself in duality. What's the word that they let me see what they so now I think that my symbol of the Aleph and the Samech, I've always said, you have to wait till you recognize you're nothing till you recognize that Ein Sof, that Sitra Akra is combined within Ein Sof, and I actually, that is true. Here's one of the wordings of it, is that Atzmutz is beyond the infinite finite duality. It's the expression before this manifestation of that duality. And for me, that's a total merging. Actually, this is a good expression of it, because this is the names of Yud He Vav He and Elohim into one, and spaces between. And these spaces are the transformation. And in everything, it's always the time between. That's what I call the sandwich, between the slices of bread. So this is I have some more gematria for this. Mom in the next week will be dead 6 years, and that 6 is a recognition of Atzmutz. And yeah. So Atzmutz, it's just 606 essence, has this level of death as transformation. So when I say I'm dead to the previous level, that means I'm ready for the next. When I say I'm dead, that means I'm dead to yesterday. And it's dawn. And I'm up. Theoretically, ready for today.